In January, as I addressed the church on Vision Sunday, I reminded us that at Christ Church we express Jesus' vision for us here as being one family following Jesus and growing community around his life and love. And we grow community around the person of Jesus and the priorities of his kingdom. So we're one family. We stick with each other. We stand by each other and we support each other. We belong together. We bond together. We're bound together by the love and grace of God, even across different congregations and worshipping communities. Our primary orientation and core identity is found in our followership, our discipleship of Jesus. As Jesus leads us to God, being the head of the church and the living word of God, with his words cascading from the pages of the Bible and settling in our hearts and our minds by his Spirit, so we follow his word and his lead with humility and wisdom in all matters of life and faith. And the core expression by which we as a church live out our followership is to do the stuff Jesus did and to grow community around him and the priorities of his kingdom, to root our lives and our actions in his life and his actions, his love. We are one family following Jesus and growing community. Now, it helps to have that always ringing in our minds and resonating in our hearts, but it also helps to have some goals and markers as a church to help us live and serve well together towards a shared vision for Christ's church here in Chilwell. We're currently halfway through our 7-year strategic vision that by the end of 2025 we would have welcomed at least 150 new followers of Jesus, discipling twice as many children and young people through regular groups, have released at least 15 emerging leaders in calls to ministry and mission, having commissioned a team to grow a new worshipping community and to be redeveloping our halls for thriving ministries and training and hospitality. Now, to be fair to say that that's been somewhat impacted by the pandemic, and there are some aspects of that which may well run beyond 2025, but we remain on course with much of it. For example, we are already reaching over twice the number of children and young people that we did back in 2018. We're just not quite there yet with discipling them more regularly. We've introduced scores of people to faith in Jesus and dozens embarking on that journey. And we're already fast approaching the goal of releasing 15 emerging leaders into new expressions of ministry and mission. But as we press on with confidence and hope that God will continue to be at work in and through us as a church, every year we propose a working seasonal vision that sets out some key objectives for the subsequent 12 to 24 months. And that's what I want to expand on now. Following lengthy consultations with various leaders, staff, wardens and PCC, we've identified 5 key objectives for us to be aiming for in our next seasonal vision. The first 2 you've already heard me talk about on Vision Sunday in January, that we would firstly launch Hope Inham Nook Community Hub to serve the underserved in and around the Inham Nook communities, and that we would also secondly commission at least one team to start a new worshipping community reaching the underreached amongst our wider communities. We're in the final stages of pulling together the formal structures and policies around which the hub can be built, and we're so excited about the upcoming launch of the hub with a family fun day on Saturday 18th of June at St Barnabas. Do save that date in your diary. We're super excited too about what might bubble up through the hub, and there's a fantastic team coming together to get that going. further to that, we're and following the Exploring Church Planting course run by Tom Murphy, we're now just looking for a few more people who'd be willing to commit themselves to being a part of a team to form a new worshipping community. So please do continue to pray into that. And if you'd like to be a part of that, or to find out more without any obligation of being a part of it, then have a word in the first instance with Tom Murphy. So those are the first two key objectives for our seasonal vision, and here are the final three. And the third one is that we would strengthen relational and emotional well-being, to connect the underconnected and to support the overwhelmed, ultimately becoming a healthier church post-pandemic. Now, there are many different ways in which we could do that. Here are some of the ways that we're thinking of. One is to introduce the Wellbeing Journey, a course produced by Hope Together, which may initially be rolled out, or maybe initially rolled out through Hope in a Nook. It may be offered as an ad hoc course at various points. It may also be something that life groups wish to take up for themselves too. You can find out more later about that. But the Wellbeing Journey. Another thing we will be introducing as a church, but we would encourage all life groups to consider being a part of this, and others too, is that this year we've been asked by the diocese if we would host the Real Life course. The Real Life course is a course produced by this diocese, Sutherland Nottingham, and it expands our horizons and deepens discussions in all matters of life and faith. It's an opportunity to talk with others about how we live out our faith and do life together. It's a course that's open to anyone, but is something that's usually taken up by various churches in local deaneries and in various parts of the diocese. We, with St Mary's Church in Newark, will be hosting the course over the course of this next year from September. And we would welcome anybody to be a part of that. Life groups may well wish to commit to a term, 2 terms, 3 terms of the course over this next year. And that will be something that can really bring groups together, discussing and deepening faith together and meeting other people. So meeting that need to connect underconnected and to support the overwhelmed. We'll also want to be reviewing our pastoral approaches and practices that we might strengthen them further. We have a fantastic pastoral oversight team, and all of us, myself included, are wanting to improve what we can offer and to be able to serve those in need more effectively. So we'd want to review how we're doing things. And then fourthly, we'd want to be sharing stories much more often in church of life and faith, struggles and joys. And this might link well into a Go Forth Sunday and how we use that time and space to share and encourage each other. The fourth key objective, key target may be for us that we would expand our discipleship opportunities and leadership pathways in the church to equip, to empower, to encourage God's people in all that they do. Now, there may be, again, many ways in which we can do this, but we would want to begin with responding to that questionnaire which many of you responded to a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago actually. As we collate that information, we'll build off that the areas in which you've expressed that you are keen to serve and to be a part of church life. We'd love to follow that up with you. So that's one place that we'll be beginning. We also want to continue our regular investment in our life group leaders, supporting them, because life groups are so core to all that we are and all that we do at Christ Church. We want to be developing discipleship years for graduates and for those who are already in work, so that they might grow and serve as well in the church. Tom Murphy will be heading up that. We want to be investing more in personal and team-enhancing training opportunities, stuff that not only blesses the church and serves our local communities, but actually will impact and serve you in the workplace or whatever context you find yourself in. Some of those include something that I've certainly benefited from, and we as a staff team here have benefited from, and that the PCC and other leaders will be benefiting from on our PCC Plus Away Day in May. The 5 voices, it will be professionally delivered, it will be some training professionally delivered to us, and we're looking to explore how we can offer that more into church life. And then of course the real life course, I've already mentioned that, an opportunity as well to get involved, to serve and to grow in gifting and leadership. And there'll be some training for those who are ready to serve as group leaders on the real life course as well. And the 5th area or key objective on our seasonal vision, it would be that amid anticipated changes in the provision for youth during due to leadership resource, that we would reprioritise and reinvest in our youth to place them more at the heart of church life. This would include increasing leadership resource and investment in youth, as well as raising the profile of youth in the life of the church. How do we plan to do that? Well, many of you know that we advertised and interviewed for the role of youth and young adults pastor a few weeks ago. We made an offer. Sadly, that offer wasn't accepted. We're going to be re-advertising that role as we continue to find the right person to join with all that we're doing here at Christchurch. We'll see what happens with that. There aren't many people out in the market at the moment, but we're praying that something would come, because we believe this is the right role for us now. I also want to add that I am personally going to be committing to serving and leading Pathfinders on a Sunday once a month for the foreseeable future. This is not just because I really want to serve with the young people and I really want to invest in them, but because actually we want to make it clear to them that they are important. And we want to see them grow and thrive in the life of the church. So I'm going to be giving a whole bunch of my time to them, and I hope that would encourage others to consider how they prioritise their availabilities and consider whether they too would be ready to prioritise and serve our youth with me at this time. So there they are, 5 key objectives for the next 12 to 24 months as a church. That we would launch Hope in Nook, community hub to serve the underserved, commission at least one new worshipping community to reach the underreached, strengthen relational and emotional well-being to connect the underconnected and support the overwhelmed, expand discipleship opportunities and leadership pathways to equip, encourage and empower God's people, and reprioritise and reinvest in youth to place them more at the heart of church life. But I hasten to add that we know from the pandemic that things do sometimes change, and we will remain flexible with these as we serve to meet them. Now, there may well be questions you have, I hope so. If you do have questions, I'd be delighted if you could ask them in advance of the APCM on Monday evening, so that I and the wardens have a chance to consider them and are better placed to respond to them on the night. So please get your questions to me or to the wardens by the end of next weekend. Thank you.